efficiency and design optimization on water and wastewater projects. Across the world, there is a growing need to address the emerging threats to the precious water resources, for which we are seeking technologies with innovative applications and results for water treatment, monitoring, and resource recovery that are helping communities to meet their water and energy goals. Forward-thinking technologies can transform the water resource recovery sector by introducing more effective treatment strategies and management approaches. So, in today's webinar, we shall start with a quick poll, followed by a series of informative thoughts by our eminent speakers, which I'll be introducing in the next stage. It shall be followed by a question answer session. So request you all to keep on writing your questions in the Q&A box that is below. Then we shall conclude with a vote of thanks. Now I request you to please go on the poll. It will just pop up on your screen. It will help us to understand the typology of our guests so as we can enhance the custom outcomes of this webinar. So I request you all to kindly fill that. We'll go for the last 20 seconds. Request you all to please. I hope everyone has submitted that. Thanks. The result will help us in sharing this webinar. So it's an important aspect of that. So we have a majority of engineers of about 48%, with urban planners comprising of 12% and architects as well. Then we have students and research followers of comprising of 16% of the total strength. That's wonderful. So before moving forward, I would like to take a moment to welcome our chairman, Mr. Chakresh Jain, to introduce Capricorn Technologies. So.
Thank you, Naman. Good afternoon and welcome to everyone. So the onset, I'd like to thank CAI and our friend, Dr. Ajay Pradhan, for supporting this platform where we have been, and I'd like to welcome all the members of CAI in this webinar, where we are talking about infrastructure in 4 different sessions. One session was today morning. This is the second session, and we have 2 more sessions tomorrow. So I'll just take this privilege of introducing ourselves, and I'll not take much time. Of course, last 2 years, we've been conducting a lot of webinars, and I'm sure a lot of participants would have been attending. So I'll not go into a long discussion, but just like to update you all on our new initiative, which as Capricorn we have done. So we are now become a part of a global alliance and under a new brand name, WinZero. And so we are now part of a group with US CAD based out of USA, CADline based out of UK, and A2K based out of Australia. And this WinZero is all about winning the sustainability. So we are now completely focused on supporting our customer in sustainability and have zero impact on Mother Nature and Earth. So that's where we are focusing on, and that's what we are calling ourselves also. And of course, we'll continue doing what we've been doing, supporting customers like yourself with our technology solutions and support and services is what we'll continue to do. So I'll not take much time. And with that, I'd like to now hand over back to Naman. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words. So coming over, now we have our first speaker. I would request Dr. Ajay Pradhan, President of Consulting Engineers Association of India, to join. He has 3 decades of experience in planning, designing various water resources and projects. He's also the President and CEO of C2S2 Consulting Engineers. Sir, I would like that you join, please.
Thank you. Thank you. Will you allow me to share my screen?
Sure, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. I hope that you are able to see my screen and my voice is audible to everyone.
Yes, Ajay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chakrasji, for an excellent collaboration and partnership with the Capricorn Technologies. This is the second series we did last year and this year as well. I think this is useful for members of our fraternity who are involved in a number of projects. As you mentioned that Capricorn has joined in a new global alliance and which we feel that is the right kind of collaboration for us. Our motto also, at the International Federation of Consulting Engineers, working towards net zero. Well, India is going to be 2070, but there are other countries who probably achieve much earlier, as a growing population. And India is probably probably in next 20 years will be the largest in country in terms of population on the planet, and thereby the people are moving more and more from rural to urban. So by mid of this century, you will have almost half of our population, nearly 800 million people, which is equivalent of US and Europe, is going to be in urban areas. Therefore, the focusing more on building back better the concept with decarbonization and resilient cities and net zero, and this is the focus and all, and we have been working on that. And it is also quite prudent to bring in technologies which can help and enable the engineers and the planners and architects to look at and build the cities in terms of building back better. So I'll give you a little bit of a background how the market looks like in India, in the Indian perspective, not giving kind of a global thing. So here these are the project which is yearly investment in India, which is almost 5.5 billion. This is goes.
Ajay, sorry to interrupt, but we are just seeing your static PPT.
Oh, is it? Oh,
Yes.
Okay. Let's see.
Maybe it's on the other screen. Yes.
Okay. Let me just see. Can you see now? It's coming.
We are still seeing just PowerPoint opened up.
One
Yes.
minute.
So you'll have to reshare that again and select that other screen.
Okay. That's what I'll do. Okay, that's what happening. Yeah. So can you see now?
Yes, it's visible now.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
I so hope it's going right.
You will have to switch the presentation mode to your screen.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. No, I'll go with one screen. Let me just go with that. So it's not confused. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, can you see that now the screen is coming?
Yeah, Ajay, but what we see is a presentation side, not the.
Oh, okay. But I can see here it's coming quite well. Let me just see what is problem happening. Not happening. 1 second. Let's see. I just go back again.
Or in the display setting, you could just change it to reverse it.
That's what I'm trying to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do it to one screen. I'm using multiple screen. Is okay? Still not coming?
Yeah. So in the display setting and this screen only, on the top, you can just switch the screens probably.
Okay. What is that you have to do?
What we are seeing on the screen is probably different from what you are seeing.
Okay.
So display on the top, we see display setting.
Display setting. I can't
probably
see.
You are not. You have
No, it's
probably another one.
No, I actually I can see actually. We tried actually running. Let's see. 1 second. It should come. I'm not coming. Still not coming?
We can see your screen, but we can also see the next slide. So at the top bar, there is display setting.
No, I can't see display setting in my.
Yeah, it's running on a virtual screen, and I think
Okay.
running.
Okay. Let me just see if I can. I can't close. You just get close.
Yeah, remove the presenter mode from the views slideshow. Remove the presenter setting probably.
Okay. Let's see. It should have been coming because Are you using different Zoom or what? Because let me stop it. Let me stop it and then try once again. Still not coming. No, it's not. Okay, let me. No. No, I can't see it. 1 minute. This will not happen. Still not coming.
Yeah,
Only,
maybe you can just.
I just okay. I just go with this.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Without wasting time. Yeah. All right. So yes. So let me just take you quickly that these are some of the investment lined up in India, which is growing every year. You can say $5.5 billion every year. It will continue for next 10 to 20 years on the sectors which are related to, and you can it's there. Smart cities, Amrut, which is urban renewal missions, Jal Jeevan mission, what you call tap to every home. So those are rural water supplies. And then we have some flagship projects like Mission Ganga, NMC's National Mission Clean Ganga. So those are some of the flagship projects besides 100 other rivers. Now, what is actually trend happening in India? If you look at previous like 30, 40, 50 years, now what is going to happen current situation? The agencies, whether it's urban development agencies, local bodies or cities, they are not going to really do design and call the contractor to do the construction. It is going to be the build design, design build basis and kind of EPC. So you have concept and then the engineer will come and help them optimize based on the technologies, based on the, so you have options to use technology. It's a technology agnostic, so you don't require which technology you have to do. They don't fix it. So you would see that new tenders which are going to come in India or elsewhere, they will not fix this. Is you have to use Bentley's, or you have to use Autodesk, you have to use MapInfo, or you have to use ESRI. So it's going to change actually, and that is the trend is going to happen, and therefore it's good so that you bring in the best knowledge, best technology, best your research innovation into your product to give edge over others. And so those are the things which are going to happen in coming years. Now the trend is also, you see, you must have seen actually from number of projects in India what is happening. 24/7 is still a distant dream, but that's what the objective and mission of our urban renewal mission for 100 cities or 500 cities. Then smart cities of 100 cities, which are going looking at the smart metering, tariffs, collections, and monitoring and measurements and things like that. Then you have a wastewater segment where you are going to operate and completely make a digitalization with the use of IoTs and all. So therefore, this is going to be trend. So you will have a sensor-based technologies. You will have a digitalization in every processes, be it your high-end design software, monitoring software, or SCADA, and things like that. Then the trend is also more and more is that urban water bodies, because of urbanization trend, we are going to have more pollution generating through it. The urban population, urbanization as a result of people moving. So they will have an impact on the urban water bodies. So therefore, you got to really ensure that urban water bodies, including the lakes or your drains and nalas, everything get also treated with the good water, so that the smells, fouling smell and other things not coming, and that makes it is also livable city. So those are the things also going to come. Therefore, whether it is a drainage design, a drainage optimization, understanding the catchment area flow, runoff and storage, rainwater, surface, subsurface. So those things will come part of your engineering design. Online treatment is also becoming more popular, whether it is in all cities and everything. So that is also going to give a new dimension to the engineers working. Now, what are the technology, number of technology players you got to really, whether it is you're working in a sewage treatment plant. When you do a sewage treatment plant, you need to optimize a less space. Now we have Mumbai, something like 3,000 MLD of new plants from primary to secondary and tertiary being constructed. and the area is very small. So there is a challenge for engineer to design a sewage treatment plant, including all facilities, less area, which is the luxury of like a 10, 30 acres of land for a 10 MLD plant. Now you have to design 500 MLD plant in the area of 6 acres. So those challenges are coming. So you will have a less space. So you have to really optimize. You go vertically design and all. So those are the aspects. While you do design and all, you have to also understand the regulators' requirement in design discharge. What kind of design flow you have to release to your water bodies or external bodies, be it lake, rivers, or seas, depending on the site. So those are the again aspects you need to do. And quite often you see that our wastewater meet with the combined sewer flows wherever is Calcutta, Mumbai. So that is also part of the design basis you have to look at. Smart metering is going to be really the big area, part of the digitalization movement, and that's happening actually, because it will help reduce your leakages. It will help in collection of tariffs, and also manage and maintain better your assets. And the third aspect is very important actually, which is required for command control center. I took some people from India to as a study tour to Japan and all. You would see that a 100 MLD plant in India has employed something like 100 to 200 people. You go to Japan, 300 or MLD plant only operate with the 5 people. The idea is essentially you have entire command control system, including your the SCADA, the control engineering, pumping, everything is all monitored. So you have a hands on everything, so you can see real basis. So that is towards a digitalization, and obviously you can see also based on IoT through internet sitting at home. So those are the areas which is going to more and more going to happen in India. Now, what happened actually for engineers, I saw that 48% of poll which you had attending are engineers, architects, urban planners, almost 70%. I think this is what we're looking at and building. Resilient cities are part of decarbonization. Cities like in South Asia, especially India, we have, as I mentioned, that urbanization is happening in not on the planned basis, unplanned organized urbanization. Thereby, it creates a lot of urban drainage congestion, and high rainfall intensity rainfalls brings in flood and chokes everything. So therefore, building resilience, properties, lives, and going ahead with the economic activities is going to be the part of the resilience. And therefore, you need to design your system as a robust system, as I mentioned, building back better in terms of collecting real-time data, doing the surveys, modeling, and then design such a way so that you take care of the entire cities towards building resilience for the people and citizens. And there are a number of fraud is a regular occurrence in India, and that's a part of our drainage systems. I think this is where you will see that more and more investment coming, and that's not only the something. We have other challenges like climate change happening, and that's going to put more burden on that. And such burdens also required to be mitigated based on the design basis. And so while you do that, engineers, quite often we do on the silo design, sitting in the office and without going to the site, without talking to the clients, without talking to the stakeholders, the people and all. You make some design, it never works because it doesn't happen, because reality is something and you design something. So you got to make your engineering design based on the requirement, based on the situation, because that's why not one design. You make one design and then it fits to every area. It can't be. So one design will never fix it. So you got to really have a site specific data and do design. The number of like all architects and the planners, they work on new technology, new tools, like Singapore city, like Singapore or Tokyo. They build on low impact development. So take care of the rainfall, take care of the flows, high intensity flows as upstream, so that your lower part of the areas is not going to be affected. So that's a part of, again, building resilience. So low impact development, that's one thing. Sustainable urban design is also part of the need to be built into your IT technologies for the design tools and all. That has to be also part of the not only physical planning, also mathematically, and also for the operational perspective. Water sensitive urban design, because that's where the footprint you need to look at, and therefore you need to be more focused on the what software, what areas, how you are going to, how people are going to benefit it. So those are the aspects you need to really look at. These are some of the bullet points I just marked it just to understand how your technology is going to really help in building, addressing these aspects. Integrated water resource management from urban perspective. You look at wastewater, look at storm water, look at the surface, subsurface water. These are the aspects which need to be modeled to your system and designed so that they work integrate in an integrated manner. So when you do under urban development, climate change, flooding, drainage, so you need to really look at the modeling tools has to work with the design tools. So thereby, optimization tool for, power, whether it's a sewage treatment plant or a water treatment plant must be linked to your design basis. Climate resilient development, as I already talked on, I think this is the cities which require to be, looked at. As I mentioned that coastal cities has something, landlocked cities has a different perspective in terms of flooding and the phenomenon. GIS and dynamic land use suitability analysis, conservation, protection areas, areas not to be done, areas for the water recharging. I think these are the planning part which need to be also again built. You can't just make every cities all around, various things. So thereby, even if you design a small culvert, design a small conduit for your drainage outlet, you got to really think twice before you really make why that design, why the dimensions working. Strategic spatial planning, that is a part of, again, it is going to be very much integrated. You can't just leave that planning person something and engineering design. And then there's some kind of orientation we look at. This is essentially we are looking at the futuristic, that net zero. What we do, how to build resilience to climate cities, water sector, how the water is going to be really, the play, between the rich, poor, and divide the cities, whether it is water quality or it is storm water, whether there is no water. So those are the aspects you have to really look at as a strategic. Spatial planning, again, you have to see in the city's perspective, areas which have a high rainfall, some parts, and then some part you will have a dry. So you need to really see how you can manage your adequate drainage system, and maybe you need to transfer part of the water from the high waterlogging areas to the areas which are not waterlogging. So those are the impact, what we call impact-based modeling, impact-based fraud management. So that is what actually is the need of the hour. And this is where probably next 1.5 hour friends will take care of you to talk about more technologies, whether it is building information modeling, or it is the structural analysis, or maybe it's a network flow analysis, hydraulic modeling, or maybe fraud modeling, or maybe you are working an optimization route to ensure that you are able to really manage your demand versus supply aspect. I think this is where you need to more flexibility, and digitalization is the area. We have to forget that the old engineering practices, standards, and other things need to be really looked at. New agenda to be set in urban context. So we call these urban updates, and those urban updates must be really linked to the big goal of SDG and climate change and net zero. Thank you, Chakraji. I think I just sounded what is required for this thing. Thank you very much. Sorry for the little bit of technologically goof up. Sorry. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for those enlightening views. We express a heartfelt gratitude and thank you for your efforts towards the AC industry, sir. Deeply acknowledged. Also, I would like all the participants to keep writing their questions in the Q&A box specifically, so that we can answer them in the Q&A session. Now, I would like to introduce Mr. Des Seronio to share his views on Innovyze. He is account executive at AEC Design in Innovyze. He's with 16 years of experience in the water industry. He's passionately working towards sustainability and process optimization, thereby creating an impact. Sir, I welcome you.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for that. I'd just like to share my screen.
Please, sir.
Okay, hopefully everybody can see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Good stuff. Okay, so yeah, welcome everybody. I'd just like to say thank you for your time. Also, thank you to the co-presenters. Thank you to Shakresh for the opportunity. I'm really honored that I get to speak to you guys today with the ambition to discuss then how to improve water and wastewater design using technology. So I'll try to keep it as swift as I can and we'll move through the slides. We'll try to be swift, but yet convey the points. So how do I plan on doing that? So I'm going to spend about 15 minutes on who we are and why that matters. Looking at our solutions and select case histories. Having some latest developments, short discussion on that. Short open floor for some questions, and then a 5-minute close. So just to make sure that the engagements and that the webinar remains on track, I'd like to request you guys to please post questions in the Q&A session, or feel free to post it in the chats, and I'd make sure that we'll get a detailed response within a week or so. So with that, let's move on to who Innovyze is. So if you look at what Innovyze, or how we position ourselves, we really position ourselves as empowering water professionals. So and empowering water professionals how? And that's really to create, manage, and maintain water services. We're a global leader in water infrastructure and data analytics software. And we really enable that by being innovative and focus on customer success. So you might be asking, where are we based? Outlining this, I have to preempt that this was prior to the Autodesk acquisition. So there's really strength in numbers. So we uniquely positioned globally, and we have various geo head offices in the Americas, EMEA, and APAC regions. But I think what makes us very competitive is our channel partners assist with providing service levels that are required within local regions and also aligning to local standards. Moving on to some notable partnerships. So if you look at notable partnerships and some of the co-presenters here, we've got 23 years of partnership within ESRI. And now that we're part of the Autodesk family, it just further enables us to continue innovating and solving industry challenges. And we may ask now, Dr. AJ went through a couple of the challenges that you guys were working on or that you foreseen. What I have here is just a couple of, let's say, what matters to our clients, what we think are the challenges being faced. So a lot of these should be very familiar to you. Our goal is really to help with the concerns that are impacting your role or your organization or the jobs that you're trying to work on. So whether it's modeling, management, repair, predictive analytics, we really want to show you that how you can apply software to assist with solutions. So looking at from my perspective, I'd really love to hear about what challenges people are facing and what the industry challenges and the challenges they're facing, and trying to work with them and build solutions. So if you look at these, what matters to our customers, you can tell that there's like 4 main areas: water utilities, sewer utilities, river authorities, and consulting firms. So it really does cover quite a vast array of the market. So if we look at how we've divided the needs and solutions, we really have divided those into 5 solution families. So these 5 solution families really focus on solutions across the water sector. So if you look at how they designed, it's really designed to support you with modeling and analysis and planning. And these planning and support is all within these areas, being water distribution management, or storm, sewer, and flood modeling, asset management, drainage design and analysis, and operational analytics. And again, a lot of these sectors or these sectors align with Dr. AJ has mentioned as being the position of where the future is in enabling urban design or enabling better communities. Now, a key I might note that Des, I think you said that you split that over 5 key areas, and you may note that the slide has 6 areas having an underpinning artificial intelligence and machine learning section. And that's really a testament to saying that we've included that 6th aspect into the 5 main categories. So trying to figure out how those 5 main categories align and also the bigger picture. So taking reference to SWAN's digital twin working group, there's actually a whole subgroup devoted to our asset life cycles in relation to digital twins. So just a quick explanation of the slide. If you take a look, you have all the different sectors: water resources, drainage, water distribution, storm sewer flood, wastewater, and industrial water. And you can see how across this water asset or infrastructure asset, you have planning, design, building, and OEM and digital twin owners. So the slide basically shows how the integration with Autodesk Cloud Construction and the common data environment of ESRI is tying in to help enable a functional digital twin, or working towards functional digital twins. What you can tell is that you have quite a common denominator of Civil 3D run in the design phase. And what you will also learn later on in the slides, that there is joint work with Autodesk and Innovyze products to enable better workflows, integrating Civil 3D and water modeling software for more seamless design workflows. So touching just on the acquisition, Autodesk purchased Innovyze for $1 billion. And the main ultimate validation of this is this type of modeling enables technology, and it's enabling the future. So yeah, this basically, this image articulates how this translates a product portfolio and bringing in all the aspects, those 5 sectors, being water resources, drainage, water distribution, storm sewer flood, wastewater, and then adding in the BIM capabilities. So you might be wondering why all of this matters. And you might also note my little pen. So sustainability is something that's really important for me. And when you really step back and you look at why are we trying to enable all of this? And I think this slide kind of ties it in all perfectly. So if you're looking at the Innovyze products and solutions that directly contribute to 9 of the 17 sustainable development goals. And if you really want to dig into it, it has knock-on effects on the 8 others. Okay, so now I'd just like to take a couple of moments to touch on our solutions and select case histories. As I mentioned, there's a lot to cover, so I'm trying to work through it quickly. And by no means is it a catch-all. If there is detailed questions you have on the individual products, yeah, please feel free to reach out to me. So basically, the Innovyze solutions currently are broken out into 2 key solutions or sectors, which is core desktop solutions and the cloud solutions. These subsequently break out into the individual of those 5 areas: drainage, storm sewer flood, water distribution, asset management, and operational analytics. So I'd just like to take a quick mention. So our products, InfoWater Pro and Info Asset Planner, actively support ArcGIS or ESRI, and incorporate that to build out a solution to enable you guys to work more effectively. So I'll touch quickly on drainage design. So drainage design is one of the first that offers direct interoperability with Civil 3D. So if you're looking at what that enables, it enables you to design and order drainage systems quickly and confidently. It helps you deliver sustainable, cost-effective, and compliant designs, and lets you gain access to a complete BIM building information modeling solution. Of late, we've been presenting quite a few of these solutions to local engineers in your area. So quite keen to see a lot more challenges you guys are facing and outlining solutions that could assist with that. We got a question. Okay, well, moving on to storm, sewer, and flood then. We have what I'm calling probably the most capable integrated catchment modeling solution. And many of the engineering associates might agree in the room. Considering the poll, there are a lot more engineers in the room. So yeah, hopefully that is a common thread here. So what can ICM afford you guys? And it's really the ability to plan for capacity improvements, system expansions, accommodate or evaluating emergency scenarios. It also allows you to deliver easy to interpret visual results. ICM accommodates both small municipalities and large enterprise organizations. And again, an astute eye would realize that you could also have some kind of drainage design within InfoWorks ICM. And what you would be happy to know is that infra drainage also ties in quite well to InfoWorks ICM. So designs that are worked on in infra drainage can be imported to the larger networks of municipalities or communities. So you can actually look at what the impact of a little development has on the larger system within InfoWorks ICM. So a lot of these tools will interconnect and work together. So the next key function is water distribution, and with the objective of getting drinking water to every single house. I think the water distribution is definitely going to play, or water distribution modeling is going to play a significant role in a lot of engineers' lives in the near future. Looking at water distribution, especially in the case where we have InfoWater linking with ESRI, we have leveraged spatial analysis tools available in ArcGIS Pro to help with modeling buildings and management. You can run countless scenarios to simulate a wide range of simulations, and you can present your results clearly that you can share in ArcGIS online. There's one comment here that also tied up quite well with what Dr. AJ said. He was mentioning about IoT devices and smart metering. Our product InfoWorks WS Pro can actively integrate with SCADA data. And this further ties into the second point Dr. AJ made, was about modeling only being half the battle, because models very rarely or sometimes don't represent reality. By integrating SCADA data and multiple inputs into your model, you can enable real-time modeling. And this we've seen in a lot of our customers that have implemented that, have brought together two different departments in a company, being the modelers and the operators. So the value generation knock-on effects of integrating operational with planners is it's amazing. So it stands on its own as a value. Okay, moving on to our cloud solutions. So as we progress, we're having cloud solutions. So from Australia, we are busy working on data sovereignty. So obviously having localized data storage is an active thing that we're working on. But if you're really looking at what our asset management tools can do, it really enables one platform to leverage well-managed assets, looking at conditions, risk data, and help you prioritize cleaning, repairs, replacements, further inspections. And all of this is based on a data-driven risk planning. Yeah, I think that sums up the asset section with enough time for me to continue. Looking at operational analytics, we really have that split into two sections. We'll have Info 360 Insights and a further product called Imagine. So operational analytics really enables AI solutions to offer the ability to be more responsive and be more responsive to real-time changes. Typically, you'd see process conditions changing quicker than what operators can respond, or even what a typical P&I control loop can respond to. Looking at the ability to predict upcoming conditions and adapt control based on rapid evolving data trends, that's really where AI ML stands alone. And as you may recall, in those 5 sections, we've got an element of operational analytics or AI ML based in all of our products. Touching brief user stories. If you look, we've got water corporation deployment and implementation of a smart water network. So in the first case, we're presenting on behalf of Water Corporation and like to appreciate and recognize their efforts in the project. Also being able to present it is quite a story. So about Water Corporation, it's the second largest water utility in Australia. They managed 52,000 kilometers of water and sewer pipes, 82 and 113 water and wastewater treatment plants. So 82 water and 113 wastewater plants. And all this serves 1.3 million homes and businesses. A total of 2.3 million customers. So the main objective of this project was really about integrating water network assets. So what about the project? They really they made the use of smart water technologies via a water research foundation, and they managed a digital twin combining data-driven models and physics-based models. So this is basically bringing your hydraulic modeling and your data models together. And it deploys a platform that included performance dashboard with a live hydraulic model that covers 4 of their local district metered areas and their pressure managed areas. So the cost benefit of analysis of near real time and predictive modeling was undisputed. Second user case story is in Thames Water. They're based in the United Kingdom and they cover much of the city in London. They utilize the operational models for predictive alerts for the sewer crew and safety deployment of those crews. So why would you have an operational model? So sensors are not always available in parts of your network. So you can supplement visibility with a live hydraulic model. When you have a digital twin, it enables you to conduct what-if scenarios and predictions. So you could have data inputs that will enable you to predict storm events 5 to 7 days out and even 4 to 6 hours into the future. So at Thames Water, initial interactions with the software began by simply utilizing spatial rainfall forecasts to understand the prospective network impacts of the incoming rainfall events, and then they reached the point where the alerts were trusted to support the health and safety decisions on the people that were entering live sewers. So in this case, you're really showing that, yeah, it's a coming together of modelers and operations team and even the maintenance teams to work better and enable better service delivery to their customers. To the second last example, we've got a Melbourne Water Info Asset implementation. So there was a digital twin for asset management. We looked at two sectors here, was automated data management, and this enabled them to minimize cost and effort in their time-intensive processes. Data-driven asset plans that help them have condition and capacity-led asset decision-making ability. And the last part was data democratization. So a lot of time we have data silos, people holding quite tight onto their information, and that limits quite well what value the data can bring to an organization. So by having transparency to the wider organization, you really have the ability to improve decision-making across all assets of an organization. Okay, Melbourne Water Info Asset. This is the one I just did. I don't know why I've got both. Okay, there we go. So digital twin for asset management. So if you'll see on the right-hand side, there's basically a couple of pictures of a model. This is looking at a pipe. So you've got a long run here, and it's looking at the CCTV data. Utilizing AI, it would generate a report of common errors, and you could have that visualized on the pipe section. By clicking on either of those points, you could actually have direct reference to that section's video data. So it really does, again, help with which sections you should be inspecting more often, or which sections less often, or which areas are most needy of maintenance. I believe this is the very last user story that I have. So a North American utility that optimized chemical costs whilst maintaining compliance. So in this use case, they were running a data-driven model but not using predictive AI. So you can have, let's say, you can have optimized control of a plant, but yet even with AI and ML, you can further optimize the control methodology. So this project utilized model predictive control to optimize chemical dosing for turbidity control of river water into their water treatment plants. The major chemical that was used for turbidity control, which was ferric chloride, costed them 1.3 million per year. And the optimization in this case helped them reduce the consumption by 13%, and that saved them around 170,000 US dollars a year. So again, even whilst we have an optimization, you can further optimize it utilizing the multiple inputs and model predictive control. I think what is also very important is that in a lot of cases, we have instrument data that's helping you control a process parameter or KPI to maintain various KOIs. So in this case, you could tell that you can also bring in your lab information system, and those data points can also be integrated into the automated decision-making process. So in short, our imagined process really enables lowest cost operating set points brought to the operator's desk every 15 minutes. The operating outcomes or optimization outcomes included predictive recommendations in real time, really having process value and an ROI of 6 months, the chemical cost savings of about 13%, and having a greater system resilience against extreme weather events or even process upsets. Bringing this back into the sustainability part, using less chemicals to treat the same or more water, it's quite a compelling story. So I'm going to take this as a segue to touch briefly on where is this all going. So what is the latest developments? So if you're looking at SWAN digital twin architecture, basically it's a network. SWAN is a network forum, and it's a prominent global non-profit organization that accelerates the adoption of digital technologies within the global water industry. So if you really look at it, we have a couple of sectors where our solutions are directly involved. If you're looking at data management, you're looking at data ingestion and integration, looking at the data-driven models, machine learning and AI, and physics-based models, so the hydraulic, biological, etc. These are kind of all the areas that our solutions are addressing to help you visualize and help develop digital twins. So what's the purpose of digital twins is really about creating a user experience, enabling you to do what-if scenarios, real-time performance dashboards, augmented reality, having mobile alerts, and advanced automation. So digital water analytical maturity. I won't spend too much time on this. I'm coming up to 60 minutes. So really what we had before, we used to have something called descriptive analytics. So we could take some error or some challenge, dissect it, and then explain how it happened. Then we could, as you move further into this control maturity, you're really going prescriptive analytics. So you're saying what should happen? What is the optimal, I just skipped a line. I went to prescriptive already. So predictive analytics is going what could happen. So basically taking the set points, looking at your KPIs and saying, hey, this is kind of what we think may happen. So that gives you ability to simulate your system behavior offline, but and kind of have an expected performance and degradation. Utilizing AI and machine learning technology, really have the ability to say what should happen and have an optimal recommendation for a given asset, and basically take your future into your own hands. So really, how do you move forward and where do you progress within the digital twin space? The time horizon for the models utilized is really looking at past, present, and future. So you have data-driven models for KPIs, you have data-driven physics-based models for incident management, and then you have data-driven ML, AI, or model predictive control based off physics and using predictive recommendations. That's kind of where the past, present, and future is headed. Again, I'm on 1 hour, so move on. Looking at the Innovyze portfolio Info360 platform, you can really draw in multiple data inputs into a centralized hub. So you've got storm sewer flood data, water distribution data, artificial analytics or operational analytics, drainage design, asset management, and all of these encompass at the bottom with our AI-driven ML tools, Info360 Insight, Imagine, Info360 Plant. These draw on various data inputs, being the hydraulic models, SCADA, reporting, machine learning, risk management, asset planning. So really, this is Info360 is a unified and integrated suite of water, and basically assisting in delivering a dynamic digital twin. I think because of time, I'd like to move to an open floor for about 5 minutes of questions.
So for this, we're planning to have the question answer session in the last, if that's fine.
No, that's perfect. Yep, that's perfect. It's perfect.
Cool.
So basically, moving forward, I guess I'd like to just in closing, right? So Autodesk is committed to interoperability. So I think it goes without saying that having in this data connected world that I've been talking about really requires cooperation and openness from technology community. So no single piece of software can support all the needs of today's project teams. That's why Autodesk is committed to openness and interoperability between our tools. We really want to help transfer information and transform workflows. So we work together with our competitors, our customers, our partners to drive standards and improve the flow of data across workflows and processes. In line with that, we've engaged with organizations such as Open Design Alliance and Build Smart International and the Digital Twin Consortium. It's really to help the AEC industry meet international collaborative data exchange standards within BIM and digital twins. So the key takeaway of my presentation, if I could get you to remember just a few points of my slides, I really like to tell you that insights at the level of a single building are powerful, but can you imagine the power of a digital twin at the scale of connected infrastructure, smart cities, or even entire countries? This is one of the reasons why Autodesk has invested in Innovyze, because not only is Innovyze a global leader in water infrastructure software, they're also a world-leading producer of digital twins for these systems. Innovyze and Autodesk solutions enable users to contribute to sustainable development goals and shape the future. I'd like to thank you all for your time, and I look forward to seeing the fruits of your sustainable development journey.
Thank you so much, Des. That was an insightful session from your end. We really appreciate that. I would like to request all the participants to keep on writing your questions in the Q&A box. We'll get back to that in the end of the session. Now, heading over to our third speaker, I'd like to request Mr. Krishna Rao to join us on the webinar. He's head of pre-sales, ESRI India. He has experience of over 22 years in GIS industry and has worked with NRCC, Rolta India, Integraph Middle East. He's a technological advisor and a go-to expert at ESRI technologies and on geospatial applications. So,
thank you. Thank you, Naman, and thank you, Des. I think that was a very insightful presentation and the introduction what you gave it to us. And thank you for setting up the context. And most of the users, I'm sure you might have heard of our name of our GIS. And we are the leading geospatial software providers for the geospatial community. And here is how we are actually being presenting. So today, myself and my colleague will be taking you down on what is ESRI. So ESRI basically is one of the being led it, and we build one of the most powerful mapping and spatial analytics products of the world. And we have a very good presence worldwide, and we are supporting our customers to these various offices which are spread across the country. So as you have heard about this, so now there one of the solutions which is supporting this is our presence, what you are seeing in. Yeah, Mithika, can we go to the next slide, please? So when you look into geospatial solutions, these solutions are all designed in order to, support some billions of customers which are based out of this country. And thanks, and that is how, the Autodesk strength and the platform which brings in designing, bringing in all the assets and all of this, and then integrating that into this geospatial platform is what he mentioned about. We have opened up all the platforms so that interoperability has come into a great success, and that's how a marriage between ESRI and Autodesk has happened in, and that's how we can consume these solutions. You do your designing, you do all your planning, and then that's how we bring as-builts which are there on the ground onto this geospatial and help you build a very intelligent water network. My colleague will now take you down through the entire thing about how we build this modern water utility assets within using the geospatial platform, and how you can take advantage, and how a combination of ESRI and Autodesk solutions can be given to leverage the benefit. You can take a leverage of the benefits of the platforms what we bring. So we give you a curating engine. We give you and web applications. We also give you an out-of-box mobile apps, which actually help you to collect information from the ground and update it on a real-time basis. And then these all can be connected to your dashboard so that you can really visualize the progress or the continued deployments which are happening on the ground, or your complaint management, your asset management, all of those things can be taken it from here. Mithika, you can go from here.
Thank you, Krishna. Hi, everyone. So as Krishna has said, like how GIS can help in strengthen the water utility business. So when you are seeing the slide, it is mentioned that location is very important factor when we talk about any of the utility, and water utility is one of our major concern or major area where we are, every person in the India is working towards sustainability part of that. And when we talk about the water industry, utility core function is to timely and orderly management of the flow of water. So whether it can be water, it can be storm water, it can be wastewater. Everywhere it is linked with the location, from plant to tank and top of the tank and till the distribution side and till the treatment plants or the recycling plants and the different discharge stations. So utility staff using the GIS can locate where their assets are there, and they can also be mobile and operating to understand their vast network using the GIS, because this network is spread across thousands of squares of miles area, which can be easily located using the GIS. And it is not only I'm talking about in terms of fundamentally spatial, it is also linked with the non-spatial information, like how the assets characteristics is there, when it has been installed, how it is being manufactured, when it has been manufactured, what is their asset age is there. So all these informations you can bring in and can get the digital insights out of that. So when we talk about the ArcGIS, ESRI is having a flagship product of ArcGIS, which is used for doing all the behaving as an enterprise system, and it is being evolved as in systems of a system. So you could not only talk that it is managing only the spatial location, mapping the assets, but also it provides all the transformation where a field worker can come and can get insights of information where their assets are located, and it stores also the information like where the outages are happening. So using the analytical capabilities, they can come to know like which of the vault needs to be closed, which helps in outage systems, and also which valves need to be closed, which are the actual repairs which required on the field, and being integrated with the real-time measurement systems like IoT sensors and smart sensors, we can bring in more real-time information. So it has a system of record, like we're talking about in terms of where we manage all the asset information in a standard data model. So like we along with our partner like Autodesk, they discuss about like how using the hydraulic modeling they can do a lot of things in terms of measurement, size and all. And then as-built can bring into a standardized data model, which is the ArcGIS data model, which has a sewer water, a storm water, or a water distribution data model. And then this information can bring into system of engagement where multiple users like field users, a desktop user, or the people who are sitting on the sites, the decision makers, the multiple people can engage with their data sets and then provide the meaningful information. And on top of the system of insights, which is giving an analytical information where we can understand like from the real-time system if any outage happens, where is the spread area, how much people are affected, what are the system insights out of that we can get. So it is a systems of system which brings a more meaningful information when they work together. So ArcGIS empowers in terms of coming from the asset management being the data model, and then using the ESRI field app which are part of the enterprise. You can have the real-time information because the people in the field are there, which they can get a more real-time update. And then they can communicate through the different mediums like the field app integrations, and the decision makers can communicate using the web app builder apps. And integration with the smart systems can bring more real-time information which is happening on the field. So when I talk about the data model, so we have a data model for stormwater, sewer, and water distribution data model. And this data model is a new generation data model, which is being designed to be a next generation spatial information system. It provides a greater functionality over massive data sets. It has exactly a real world display. Like if I talk about in terms of what is present in the real world, we can see wall, joints, how it is being linked. So the way of representation is present in the data model. And along with it has a lot of user experience and communication capability, which is across the organization. So people can use this data model where it can go from the desktop-based solution to the enterprise level, where the field user can also update the things, and then can business users can also interact with the things, and it will serve end-to-end from sitting in the office to the field operations. So this is a sample water distribution data model. Here you can see this is a configuration of a set of classes. Whenever we talk about in terms of distribution utility or a water distribution utility, it has the two types of specific classes like domain network and the structure network. So here when we talk about domain, which is devices through which commodity flows like water lines, water devices, and the structure network, which is common to all the utilities like underground walls, boundaries, which supports the commodities are there. So these data models can be used. And once the data models are ready, you can take it on the field through the construction activity. Like if somebody would like to update the things, they would like to collect the things, and real-time project like integration with the project management things can also be happen. And then external facing communication. So they can use these data models and bring on a kind of applications where the consumer-centric integrations can also be possible. So when we say this is an enterprise system, so this can be used for the coming up from the asset development, network management, where we can manage the network in terms of operations, which kind of devices are placed, if any outage happens, which walls need to be closed, how many customers are affected, which are the isolated areas are there. And then further the decision-making team can do the operations on top of that to route the field team on the outage location in a minimum time. And then also the different business users team can get the insights out of that, like what is the kind of billing revenue they are getting. And then they can also provide the various applications for the customers and HSE departments also. Using the field applications, we can have a multiple kinds of updates and progresses can be shared. Like you can see in this dashboard, we can have a complete water distribution asset, what kind of assets are there, what are the complete asset summaries there. And using the field applications, we can get the survey progress, project management progress, field updates, any change in the network can also be updated. We can also monitor the field workforce. Like if my field workforce is currently on the field, we can see like where they are in the current and what in a day where they have all do the billing, or they can also integrate like what are the field workforces which are near to the outage location. So all this can be monitoring, can be done using the field apps. And these further like capital project management kinds of applications can be created. Then different use cases in terms of our GIS side, like you can use it for the planning and monitoring water schemes. So a lot of agencies are using that. We can also have a different dashboard. These are the all out of box template, because the enterprise solution comes with the templates which can be easily rolled out to get the different kinds of templates which can be used for the monitoring purpose, or a scheme monitoring purpose, or a project monitoring purpose, or a kind of wall inspection and maintenance kinds of exercise can be done. So in this, like we can divide divide our areas into different DMA zones and then integrated with the smart meters, we can run a DMA-wise analysis also. So all this is possible using the utility templates, which are part of the platform, like the web application builder templates, dashboard templates, mobile apps, and analytical templates. So these all templates are a part of the platform. And then once this everything is ready, you can see all things are integrated. So we can integrate a dashboard, a design app, or a field application, and the other applications, and every information is being updated centrally. So all people are in sync. Either it is integrated with the other third-party systems, or it is through the GIS different applications. So the people which are sitting in the operation center can get all the near real-time live updates of the assets and the network. So this is like how we can integrate in terms of ArcGIS. So these are the different desktop-based projects like ArcGIS Pro, which takes the data model part, and then you can see the integration with the real-time systems, different systems of CRM, control center, EAM systems. All this will be integrated with the enterprise systems, and then you can use it for the alerting, decision-making, and situational awareness kind of thing. In the previous session, like we have talked about how we are tightly integrated with the ArcGIS and our Autodesk Innovyze products. So we have also, you can see the desktop integration with the Innovyze Pro, which is used for the hydraulic analysis, and it can easily pull the information from the ArcGIS Pro as well as ArcGIS Online. And the best part is it has also a 2D as well as the 3D display capability. So let's say in terms of pressure zone analysis or a kind of elevation based analysis, we can easily present that in terms of integration with the Autodesk. And further, like we have talked about in terms of data model of the utility network. So it is integrated with the utility network data model also. So let me show you the data model part. And so hope my screen is visible. So you can see when I'm talking about the water distribution data model. So on the right-hand side, you can see this is a water distribution data model where we are mapping the water utility network. And like we have talked about the distribution network and the domain network and the structure network. So these are the structure network like service territory, which is our boundary structure lines. And then there is a water domain based assets are there like water device, water line, and these are all as having a kind of relationship which is maintained in a network. So let me show you, like you can see this is all water devices and how it is linked. Like if you can see in the left hand side, we have a water device, and inside there are various kinds of devices as well, like pump meter, system meter, service valves, different flow valves, pressure valves, stations. All these are captured inside as an asset groups. Same way in the water line also, different kinds of lines are there, whether it's a water main, transmission main, distribution main, all are being captured as a different asset groups. So this is a very vast data model which is capturing all the every detail. And then you can see it, like I was talking about when that it has a capability where it is capturing the detail of the in terms of all real world display, like what you see on the ground can you can see the same. Just a minute. So using this, you can see in this this is a pump station, and you can see these are the different assets have been placed. But when I go inside the containment, so you can see these are multiple assets are also coming, like these are the different valves are there, and how these are the different pump stations are there, and also how these are linked to each other. So all this is having a kind of association and model out of that. And also, let's say any kind of this is a water network, and these are the different types of assets are there. Let's say any outage happens into certain area, so we can locate easily. Let's say this is outage has been reported, and it has a various analytical tools through which we can come to know, like if any outage happens, how much is the area affected, and which are the walls which are there in an open condition, which we need to close it. So first of all, we'll identify which are the walls which we need to close it. So we can run these kinds of out-of-box traces, and there are various criteria we can apply because these are all stored in the system, whether it's a cathodic or isolating kind of thing. So it will identify the set of walls, like you see the red colors are the identify, and it has selected out of the 3 features. These are the 3 where we need to see what kind of assets are there. So these are the system walls, and you can see these are the walls which are in the open condition, normal status is open. Now I would also like to identify how many of my customers will get affected, and what are the assets also will get affected. So you can also run a trace where we can identify which features are all getting isolated when I off these walls. So using these tools, we can have the complete list of assets, like these are my different consumers, whether it's a residential and what kind of consumers are there. I can get these are the, you can see 38 features are there, and you can extract the report out of that, how many service lines, how many walls, how many service connections. So 7 service connections or 5 service connections are there, which you can locate and go to and highlight. So using this, you can come to know what are kind of connections are there, how many will be isolated or not. This is the one of the example of the traces. We have also other types of analytical tools are there, like how many are the connected, or what kind of pressure traces are there. So all this is possible in this. Also, we can define in terms of, let's say, different DMA zone based analysis can also be done. So you can define this large area into different DMA zones. So let's say we have defined different DMA zones. So if I would like to identify one DMA zone, so this is a subnetwork kind of analysis. So this is a one DMA out of which we can identify like what kind of assets are there and what is the complete characteristic of this DMA. So you can see in this DMA, what is the service length, what is the hydrants, how many kind of sub-network length is there, what is the length of this DMA, how much transmission length is there. All these kinds of information you can create in this, inside this. Also, we can create a single line diagram out of that for that particular DMA. So we have a different tools where we can create a diagram, and this will bring up kind of these diagrams through which you can identify like which is your starting point, which is your source point, and same way you can also side-wise display also can be done. So let's say if I would like to identify any particular wall on the map area, so I can highlight the same on the map. So it is like giving you a display where you can directly work on a single line diagrams, identify any changes happens in the network or something, you can do that. So further, like this is a desktop based data model. Once it is your data model is ready, we can set up a complete enterprise system and we can share it on a web based system. Once we share it on a web based system, and another thing I just you can easily create and edit the new service lines also and new networks also in this, and then you share it on a web based system, which is in the web we have a complete portal kind of activity where we can have a complete network. Like you can see the same network which you are seeing on our desktop, you can see on a web also with a simple templates, and where we can identify what kind of walls are there and what kind of analytics are there, and the same operations like in terms of what we have seen outage analysis and all, we can perform that same analysis on the web-based systems also and extract the reports. So the person who is on the field, he can report like any outage happens, which all needs to be closed. So we can run that all isolation traces, everything on the web-based systems also. So using these tools, we can perform that also. And also like in the enterprise system, like when we are talking about, we have a multiple applications like in terms of dashboards where we can have a complete asset summary dashboards. And also when we talk about in terms of customer insights, we can integrate with these SCADA systems and different consumer level inputs also. So this is one of the sample dashboard where you can get the insights, like how we can integrate different tank level informations, or which tank is full, if it is any, we have set certain kind of alarming condition. If it is still certain height, it will send an alarm. So you can see what is the, if it is exceeds that particular height, and the live information is getting updated. So it will generate an alert, an SMS alert also, which can be sent to the mail alert or kind of SMS alert also. Also, we can also create various applications where we can do a kind of applications where we can create a survey forms and valve exercising kind of exercise can be done. So these kinds of forms can be created, any kind of new connection request or a new customer service request for a consumer purpose. And on the background, a person who will be sitting in an operational team, he can get the information like a new service request is coming from which location, what is the nearby sites are there which can provide the connection to this. So these are kinds of exercises can be done in an enterprise system. So this is some of the overview which I can present because due to limitation of time. So ArcGIS basically behave as a complete system which you can bring in your as-builts into the system. You can create a complete data model, and then you can use it for the system of insights, engagement, and system of records. So it will help for any organization to improve in terms of communication in between different departments also. And you can easily locate your assets. You can keep all your access data and every assets information in a centralized information, and it will help you in improving your lot of operations, cost saving, and bring a lot of ROI benefits out of that. So that's it from my side. So we can take any question and answer round. Any questions?
Sure, Mitika will head over to the questions, but thank you so much. And thank you, Krishna sir, for such an insightful session. I hope the works are really inspiring and they help us with the industry. So now we'll head over to the questions. Please keep on writing your questions in the question and answer panel so that we can answer. So I have this question from Mr. Des. Hello.
You have a question for me?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Mr. Srinivas has worked with Innovyze products for InfoWater in MEA region, but not in India or South Asia region. Why this gap?
Yeah, so it's a great question. I think historically, the use of Innovyze products is limited to the end users. So typically, government departments select a solution, and typically that's maintained. I think the important designation there is that as more engineering houses move into covering the workload within India, you've seen an uptake, a good increase of utilization of both InfoWorks WS Pro and InfoWater Pro. Hopefully that answered the question.
Yeah, thank you. And another follow-up question on that. Has Innovyze looked at the conditions of Indian rivers with respect to river cleaning?
Yes, indeed. So a lot of our products also enable you to model determinants. So you can look at water quality and model that across the water network as well. Naturally, as we know, one of the biggest challenges is the quality of the polluted groundwater, and river pollution is really quite bad. So yeah, we're definitely aware of that.
Okay,
So the three important river systems like Indus, Ganga, and Brahmaputra. I can't say that word.
Right.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so there's another one. Can InfoWater carry out transient simulation for water distribution network?
Yeah, so InfoWater and transient. I will have to check. I know that we can in InfoWorks WS Pro. Let me see if I can give you a link for that.
Yep, that would be great. There's another question for Dr. Ajay. Sir, how do you see the benefits of digital twin of cities for developing countries like India? How it will add value?
Sorry, sir, come back. Naman.
Sure, sir. I'll come back. How do you see the benefits of digital twin of cities for developing countries like India and how it will add value?
Okay, let me just see. 1 second. Yeah, sorry, Naman. Yeah, I could.
Yes, sir. So
Okay,
should I
okay.
repeat the question?
Yeah, please do that. I just missed out. Yeah, sorry.
Sure. No
Yeah.
problem, sir. So the question is, how do you see the benefits of digital twin of cities for developing countries like India and how it will add value?
Okay. Well, I think this is an interesting question, whoever has asked, because people think that digital twinning and all, it's only for the developed nations, big cities like Singapore, Dubai, Hong Kong and all. It's a myth. I think digital twin is a process, is an enable for, the cities when they transform from the old cities to new city, even building new infrastructure. So that is where it will bring in the value, right? So let's say for example, you are building now we are building, whoever asked from India, probably let's say look at the Jewar airport. Now we are doing digital twinning in that project. It will help you to actually connect your roads, metros, high speeds. It also give you connect your logistics parks. It will connect. It creates an entire ecosystem, which means when you see the real world and the contractor working in one space, maybe in the air side, and somebody is working on the terminal side, somebody is working on logistics side. So you can see the entire ecosystem in your screen, and thereby you see it helps and expedite your construction management monitoring. So it not only helps in the construction process, construction management, it also help in the future the operation and management. So I think it adds a tremendous value in digital twinning. So that's how India needs, actually, in that sense. You need India, because we are transforming our entire infrastructure. Almost 60-70% of our old infrastructure is getting transformed, right? So this is wow. Yeah, I hope I answered that.
Absolutely, sir.
Okay,
thank you so much. So I have another question for Des. Can we model water quality scenario in InfoWater for a water distribution network?
Yeah, the answer is yes.
Yep. So Branil, we can do that. So guys, if you have any more questions, please write up in the Q&A box, or else we'll proceed for the conclusion of the session today. Any more questions? I guess we'll conclude with that. On behalf of Capricorn Technologies, I would like to express my heartfelt thanks and gratitude to all the eminent speakers. We're grateful for your thoughts, sharing your thoughts and experiences. Thanks to all the participants, and we hope to see you all in the next webinar that is scheduled for tomorrow. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time and your efforts.